The only saving grace that Arsenal have now, right, is that they dropped points in 2 games against Sunderland and Chelsea, right? The only lucky thing is that City and Chelsea, right, they are not catching them at a rapid rate. It's not like the City of old where the moment you slip up, right, they will breathe down your neck.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Football Kaki. I'm your host Alda and I'm joined by my fellow Kaki bro Paul, and welcome back to Net. How you guys doing?
It's been a while.
Back, brother.
It's nice to see Net on a day when it's a bit more positive on the fact that Liverpool won. The past few times he's on just Liverpool losing the whole time.
It was painful, but we move.
Yes, at least we won, right? But Net, how have you been? Haven't seen you in a while.
All right, just busy school stuff. That's all. Yeah.
So is it the stress period, or is it coming? The stress period is coming?
Nah, stress period's done really. I'm home free until like next year.
Okay. Cool. So the question I have, right? Okay, if you had opportunity to watch a game overseas, right? Will you go to a Euro or will you go to a PL game?
Euro being like any other league, but bar the PL.
Okay, so let's say for example, right? Okay, you got 3 options, but you can only go to one. You got Champions League away from home. Not mean that let's say for Nets, a Liverpool fan is away. You've got a World Cup, or you've got a Premier League game at home.
World Cup, bro.
World Cup,
Any day.
World Cup. Why? What? Are you crazy?
No, even next year's World Cup.
Yeah, I will do it. Like in a heartbeat.
Panama versus
Dude, yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, why not, right? World Cup.
Exactly. It's like
actually, I will go
it's
to
the
World
world
Cup game, so.
biggest stage.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, but Ned, since you are here and you weren't on last time, right? Any thoughts on Singapore making the Asia Cup?
I think, like I said, that with the new FAS president, Forrest Lee,
Yep.
it's going into a very good direction. And I think we are slowly seeing it come into fruition, even if it's a little bit early days sort of moment.
Yep.
But yeah, congrats to Team Singapore. Like, we honestly were the underdogs coming into it, and we came out of it on top. So happy about that. I think this is the first time in our history qualifying for Asia Cup on our own merit. So yeah, quite crazy. Good for them, honestly, good for them.
Yep. The tournament is in 2027, right? But like we mentioned last week also, it's the first major international tournament that our country has qualified for. So it is relatively cool. I will root for them from Singapore, watching on the TV in January 2027. So
Dude, this is the most obvious group stage knockout I've ever seen. The fact that we're in it is like crazy. This is like Georgia qualifying for the Euros last year. And they went on a crazy run. They in the end they qualified for round of 16 when they got knocked out by France, I think.
I mean, you never know. It could be like you could get, like Paul said, you could get a luck of a draw, and then you never know. We could end up.
Oh, sorry, they got knocked out by Spain. I remember that game.
Spain, right?
Yeah. Georgia opened the scoring, but then they got whacked 5-0 after that. But it was good.
Yeah, but also considering the fact that Gavin Lee is now officially the manager of Singapore. He's taken over formally. So at least there's probably going to be consistency from now until the tournament.
Dude, I read somewhere that Steven Gerrard was in the running for manager.
Wow.
I read somewhere like pretty reliable source. I forgot where it was. Maybe it was Athletic or something like that. I just know it was like, what the hell? I saw Steven Gerrard saying, I was like, no way this man will come to Singapore. It's just crazy, man.
No, but I think speaking of, like, let's say aside from foreign managers, right? If Gavin Lee won this job, he won it based on merit because he got them over the hump to qualify for the Asia Cup. No matter what you say, right, you cannot take that away from him. He did it.
Yes, sir. 100%. Like, dude, no questions. Wow. Actually, pretty historic day. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The only thing I had to say, right, was that the Hong Kong keeper rushed out too much when Shawan kicked the ball in there, but I'm not complaining. Singapore.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the Football Kaki. We are a football podcast. And today we have a few things we're going to talk about. There was a lot of games that actually happened over the weekend. Particularly the fact that there was a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge that had some like niggling controversies, right, that will affect actually Chelsea, right? Even though it was a 1-1 draw, right, we will probably talk about whether is it 2 points lost for Chelsea, or is it a point gain? I think that's the one thing that probably we would like to talk about. Then we've got Liverpool finally beating West Ham 2-0. And Isak finally getting on the score sheet. So we'll talk a bit about that because Liverpool have finally broken their rut and there was a specific player that was not in the starting 11 for this game, which we will not mention, right? But I think everyone knows who he is. Like, if you watch the game, you probably will know. And then we'll have a bit of the Manchester teams. We'll talk about that. And then we have our match of the week, which is Liverpool and Sunderland. So, with that, let's go to our what's going on this week. Now, before we get into today's episode, a special word from our sponsor.
We would like to thank SG Watch Hub for sponsoring this episode. SG Watch Hub is Singapore's one-stop platform for all things watches. Whether you are buying, selling, or just crazy about timepieces, SG Watch Hub connects you to sellers, retailers, and fellow collectors so you can find that perfect piece for your wrist. They've got you covered with a full range of services, from repairs and polishing to strap replacements, protective firms, watch winders, and even authentication to make sure your watch is 100% the real deal.
On top of that, SG Watch Hub offers brand partner promo codes so you can score special discounts on watches from different brands. And speaking of partners, they also work with amazing companies like Nomad Watchworks, a homegrown brand known for their premium straps and accessories. One of their biggest perks is that every leather strap you purchase from Nomad comes with free lifetime cleaning, so your watch doesn't just look stylish, it stays cared for too. Stay tuned on both the Chit podcast and SG Watch Hub Instagram pages, because we'll be running a special giveaway sponsored by SG Watch Hub and Nomad Watchworks very soon. Trust us, you don't want to miss it.
So, if you love watches as much as we do, head over to sgwatchhub.sg and join the community. SG Watch Hub, bringing the world of watches to your fingertips. And now, back to the episode.
So, I think Ned, it's your turn. What's going on? You can take the honor.
So the what's going on this week is there seems to be travel in paradise. Paradise, not really my paradise, but Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
We're having a lot of stories coming out, not just from one or two sources. Many of the Madrid, even the Madrid mouthpieces like Marca Extra, Madrid Extra, possibly like Fabrizio, underdog journalist, Indy Kyla, coming out with stories regarding some unrest within the Madrid dressing room, specifically between Alonso and Vini Jr. So there's been a lot of stories coming out. The main one actually being that the relationship between the superstar left winger and the Spanish coach, the new Spanish coach actually. There's been a lot of tension between the two of them. He's been very unhappy with the coaching decisions, and there's even rumors that he's not going to sign a new contract with Real Madrid once his time runs out. I think he's about maybe 2 years on his contract left, if I'm not wrong. So he says if the coach or the situation is not going to change, he doesn't see himself being the out and out star amongst the team of stars. He's not going to sign a new contract. He doesn't want to play second fiddle to anyone in the team, and he believes he has the potential to reach those like Neymar-esque heights. I think it's going to be even more exacerbated, especially with the result against Girona yesterday. It was not really to their liking. Really shouldn't be pulling that kind of result versus Girona. But it's not just that, it's also losses against Liverpool. They've been doing decently well. I remember their last Champions League game, Kylian Mbappe scored 4, but it was essentially him pulling an almost like World Cup 2022 final performance, his level, just dragging that Madrid team on his back and making sure they don't drop points. We have to see with recent developments. There's been also a lot of talk saying that if Arne Slot were to get sacked, Xabi Alonso will be ready to jump on board, as reported by Indy Kyla, who's actually had a really good summer of reporting. He was one of the first few to break the news that Florian Wirtz had actually chosen Liverpool over Bayern, and a bunch of other stories like that. It's still a really developing story at the moment, and it's see how we go. Madrid are no longer top of the table. I think they lost that lead to Barcelona at the moment, if I'm not wrong, on top of the La Liga table. They're still doing pretty okay in the Champions League, bar that Liverpool lost, which they really shouldn't have lost. But look, I remember my choosing the teams to look out for. The Real Madrid was my La Liga team because I really couldn't. I mean, Real Betis was another one, but I felt Real Madrid was the more interesting one to look out for because of these situations like this. I don't think Xabi Alonso might have been the right coach culture-wise for Real Madrid. Yes, Xabi Alonso is probably a really, really good tactical manager. I mean, reaching the Europa League final, doing the double in your first proper season of the club, going invincible in the Bundesliga, in a league where, Bayern is ultimately always dominating. But, I think Xabi Alonso easily is more of a project manager than anything. It's very difficult to replace someone like Carlo Ancelotti, a serial winner in that regard, and almost a very chameleon in his tactical fluidity, in that he can change tactics anytime. So if Madrid were to bring in another superstar, he would have no problem integrating him into that side. Yes, he struggled when Kylian Mbappe first came in, because I think we all saw his preferred system with Jude in the 10 or Jude in the false 9 role, and him being almost like the Kaka of the team. In the year they won the league and the Champions League, I think that was they won the double that year, right? Champions League, and they won the league.
For which one? The Kaka?
Jude's first season.
Yeah, Jude's first season they won the Champions League and the league.
Yeah, so I mean you can tell he's basically seen Jude as another Kaka in that situation. So with the introduction of Kylian Mbappe, who's not even a natural striker, he self-admitted himself that, as much as people like to play him in a role, he comes best when he has someone to play off of. I mean, he likes to cut in off that left, but he likes to play off someone who can be that false 9 or be that Benzema sort of figure. I think the French national team, Didier Deschamps, is kind of seeing that role in Hugo Ekitike right now. It's quite beautiful football to watch. Honestly, seeing Hugo and Kylian Mbappe link up like that on the international stage. But yeah, as I said, developing story, we'll see how it goes. Madrid's always going to be a team of superstars, no matter what era. They're always going to try and go out to buy the best players possible. We'll see how it goes. If Alonso gets sacked, then unfortunately, that's just the truth of Madrid. There's also rumors that Zinedine Zidane is ready to come in. I don't know how you all feel about that as Madrid stars.
How many times do you want to repeat this cycle? I don't want earlier. I think like for me, right, before I hand over the ball, right, I look at it more in a very simple economic terms, right? The managerial style between Carlo Ancelotti and Xabi Alonso is very drastically different. Carlo Ancelotti, yes, he has tactical fluidity, right? But he is also a player's manager. Like the players love playing for him because of the fact that he's expressive. He gives them freedom to express themselves. Whereas like Xabi Alonso, his system is very rigid. Like you need players that are very well disciplined, very well tailored to the system to be able to get the best out of it, which is why like if you see the players at Bayer Leverkusen, right, they were talented, yes, but they also played very pivotal roles at executing the system properly to a point where you know that if I were to get the ball to the wide side, Frimpong's going to be at this particular position. Which for players like maybe Vini Jr, right, and maybe Endrick, right, well, a bit more expressive, right, they might find it stifling. Because your role is not to be the star, your role is to serve a function in the team, which is probably maybe why there's so much unrest or whichever, right? And to be frank, yes, they lost and they didn't really do well, right? But they're still off a single point off at the top of the table. I don't know lah. It could be another situation between manager and player power lah. So that's my view. Paul, what do you think of the situation at Real Madrid?
Yeah, I think like what Eldred said, I think Ancelotti has been there for so long, right? Where he sort of let them express themselves while at the same time be in charge. So I don't think he's very authoritative as like someone like maybe Xabi Alonso, where things must work in his system. If I'm playing a system, your guys must buy into the idea, rather than Ancelotti just let them as long as he's defensively sound, and then just let the fluid, like the attack play out how they have been, I think that's why like player manager as well, as long as they are on his side, then I think he can get the best out of them. So yeah, as an Alonso wise, I haven't really been following Real Madrid games, but I think whenever I see the score, right, it's always like randomly they will just draw. So like the past 3 games, they 3 La Liga games, they just drew their games lah. So I think and I read the news that there seems to be like some dressing room issue. So I think Vini is not like the easiest player to manage. I can imagine. He's trying to be the next Ronaldo, but then he has so many. The spotlight is always on him. So yeah, I think if he and the manager doesn't see eye to eye, right?
Yep.
The only way he can make noise is through the media, and then sooner or later you see if that one doesn't, either one doesn't go, then I think it's tough to see them work together.
At the end of the day, right, like let's keep it very simple. We have to look at it more in a sense where I do think sometimes Vini can be quite a diva. That's just my mentality, right? So sometimes, player power versus managerial power. At the end of the day, I'm still more of the belief that no matter what, the manager has control, or the manager should be in charge. So whether or not it comes to a point where the relationship breaks down, it will sooner or later show in the results lah. which I think is starting to show. But I think let's keep an eye on this, because at the end of the day, right, we still don't really know whether what is being said is true. But considering the fact that multiple sources are saying the same thing, I think it's something that we probably need to look at down the line lah. So
100%.
Real Madrid is still at the top, still close to the top. I don't think there's much of an issue. However, I do think that at the end of the day, if it goes off the rails, right, Alonso could lose his job, because they're probably going to take the players over the manager, as Real Madrid have done many times before. Yeah, so moving on.
We would like to take a quick break to thank our friends at HDBK Official for sponsoring this episode of the Chit Chatter podcast. If you've ever run a small business or tried selling online, you'll know how tough it can be. High platform fees, hidden charges, and algorithms that bury your listings. That's exactly what HDBK Official is changing.
HDBK Official is a community marketplace made for local brands and creators here in Singapore. Instead of taking huge commissions, their fees are only 2 to 5% with no hidden fees or transaction costs.
You don't even need your own website. HDBK Official helps you reach new customers, grow your brand, and actually keep more of what you earn. It's not about competing with big platforms. It's about building a fair, supportive space where local businesses can really thrive.
To learn more about the platform or to list your own brand, check out hdbkofficial.com. Thanks again to HDBK Official for supporting the show and for supporting local creators.
I think let's talk about Chelsea and Chelsea and Arsenal faced off in a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge. There was a red card for Moises Caicedo. Chelsea took the lead initially, right? And then Arsenal did equalize, right? But I think there's a few things I want to talk about to you guys, right? Was that all of us knew it was, if Chelsea had won, it would have closed the gap at the top to 3 points between them and Arsenal. But because it's a draw, and it kind of looked like Chelsea and Arsenal were pretty evenly matched, right? And I do think that maybe Chelsea could have gotten a win, right? Was this more of 2 points drop for Arsenal and 1 point game for Chelsea, or was it more like 1 point game for Arsenal and 2 points loss for Chelsea?
I'm of the opinion that it's actually 2 points drop for Arsenal. I'm not going to lie to you. Arsenal are the team to beat at the moment. That's very, very safe to say. There's no argument about that. The thing I see in Arsenal right now is the thing I saw in Liverpool last season. They're really, really on title winning form, as much as it pains me to say. It's really, really Arsenal's title to lose at this point, because I mean they've been just so dangerous. Like, maybe not so much in the attacking sense. I do think there's more things. Victor Gyökeres or like Noni Madueke has, however few games he actually has played, or even like Gabriel Martinelli or even Odegaard can be doing to create more of the chances whenever they are on the pitch. And it's very clear Mikel Arteta has his quote unquote his favorite team at the moment. It's inevitable. I feel like at this point Arsenal are inevitable. Not say that like they're the most dangerous team or they're going to score 5 against you, but they are consistently pulling out 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 games. And in a league format, right, like the Premier League, it's not so much how big your victories are, it's how often, how often you can churn out the result even when the odds are stacked against you. Like, you see Chelsea at this point in time, Chelsea are another very extremely dangerous team. I feel like this is what Arsenal have learned from the past like 2-3 years of, just backing out of those important games and not really performing to those games in itself. I just feel at this point they are showing the guts and the bravery it takes to go on and win this league. Personally, yeah. They're not backing down, they're not parking the bus anymore. That game was really it was very, very akin to a basketball game. I'm not going to lie to you. So it feels like they are going to actually go and try to start winning these bigger games. So I feel honestly this is 2 points drop for Arsenal, because this game easily they could have, won it in and of itself.
Paul, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I agree. 2 points drop for Arsenal, considering the fact that they were playing against a 10-man Chelsea for quite a long period of time. Just like the Man U Everton game last week. The only saving grace that Arsenal have now, right, is that they dropped points in 2 games against Sunderland and Chelsea, right? The only lucky thing is that City and Chelsea, right, they are not catching them at a rapid rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like the City of old where the moment you slip up, right, they will breathe down your neck.
Yeah.
So they are getting wins here and there, but they are like losing at the same time. So like
Yeah.
they beat Leeds, but then the previous week they lost to Newcastle. So
Yeah.
in a way they are like, okay, they are still giving Arsenal room to breathe. And it doesn't and it helps Arsenal in the fact that Chelsea also is a bit inconsistent at the start, but now they are starting to be on the rise. Yeah, Liverpool has fell off. United was never really a threat, even though mathematically they could have been up there in like 3 games. There is no one clear contender to chase Arsenal at the moment. So
Yeah.
it's still a toss up between Chelsea and us and Man City. So as long as if I was Arteta, right, as long as we stay ahead of our rivals by a certain point, like maybe 5 to 6 points, right?
Yep.
It may be in our favor, because if you think about it, 5 more games, right, is almost the halfway mark of the season.
Yep.
And then that will be the true representation of whether they can really go on to win it or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because now December, right, I think there's gonna be a lot of games there. Like there's games I think in 3 days time, and then they're gonna play at the weekend, and then next week again. I'm not too sure whether they have Champions League, but yeah, this week there's 2 EPL games, midweek and then the main week lah. So
Yeah. Okay. I think like for me, I look at it more in a very simple sense where because it's more towards two points drop, because what this did, right? Yes, they gained a bit of advantage on Chelsea, but they let City back in. Yeah, so now City is currently second, and if I'm not mistaken, right, they are
5 points.
about 5 points behind them already. So what this did is that you maintain your gap between Chelsea, but you let City close you in. And knowing this, right, and knowing City being City, right, okay, they look shaky right now, which we'll talk about a bit later, right?
Yep.
But if there's any team that can kind of figure out a way how to close out the season, right, with a 5-point gap going into December, right, it's Man City. Yeah. I look at it in a very simple sense. Do we think that Arsenal can maintain this for the rest of the season?
yes,
I honestly don't know.
they are
You have
know.
to remember that in this game, Arsenal do not have their 2 starting centre backs. Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba are currently out with injury. I think William Saliba's one is pretty serious, considering that they are mentioning talks of injections and having to go for CT scans and whatnot. But I think in the fact that they have bought very, very smartly in Mosquera and in Hincapié, I think it just speaks to their piece of business that they are ready to go and challenge, and that they have a backup for any problems that they might face.
Yeah. Understand? Agreed. Wow, I don't really have much else to say.
I don't know. I don't think there is much to say, because it's really, like I said, it's Arsenal. Like, it just feels like this is going to be their year, and this is the year they take the title. Maybe not the Champions League, but definitely, I feel like the title is very safely in their hands. We are at the 1/3 point of the season where a lot of teams start to show their true colors and show the quality that they are truly made of. The excuses for like, oh, no preseason has passed, and you are 13 games into the Premier League. If you are not performing at this point, this is probably the level you are going to be. Like, based on past historical data, right, the table is not going to shift very much from its current position.
Yep, agreed. I can't say much, because honestly, the game looked kind of like even throughout, right? But I think my only thing is that they couldn't really do much against a 10-man Chelsea, which kind of like is not a good thing for me to look at, because at the end of the day, right, you are expected as the league leaders to kind of like do your best against 10 men lah. I mean, you're not Man United who struggle against 10-man Everton lah.
Yeah, but then again, you have to remember Chelsea have like the depth of like China,
North Korea.
Caicedo's out. You bring on whoever the hell they bought for like 50 million or 40 million. Is Ruben Lavia even playing? Like, I feel like for like half his career he's injured. Or at least half his Chelsea career. Okay, but actually you bring up a very interesting point in Man City that I also noticed something that I would also like to bring up. I think we all know as FPL players, right? I don't know if you still actively look at FPL, because I don't. I think it's a very well known Premier League FPL fact. At most, you put one City player on your team. You don't put all 3, because Pep Guardiola is known to rotate.
Yeah.
But the only season he had a favorite team to play, especially for like bigger games, is the time they want to travel.
Yep.
And I'm starting to notice that he is going back to that formula again this season, where he has, I mean, bar Rodri, right? Because he's always gonna love Rodri. Rodri is literally Pep Guardiola on the pitch as a player. So like there's always going to be like that same few people on the pitch. Don't say the Leeds game. The Leeds game was very much a throwaway to Pep. I don't think he cared if he won it, which is why he played such a weakened lineup. But you notice the past few lineups, he's starting to play like he's starting to get his rhythm and starting to notice like favorite players or like just going into games with like the same few players. It's always Gvardiol and Diaz at the back. Donnarumma keeper, obviously. His right back is Mateus Nunes, for goodness sake, who was a midfielder from Wolves, in case you forgot. His left back is
O'Reilly.
Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis left back. Then his midfield is Rodri. I mean, if he's fit, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden. His front three is Haaland, Oscar Bob, and Doku. He's starting to go back to the same formula over and over again. I mean, bar Oscar Bob was dropped and he didn't even make bench for this Leeds game. But I think if Arsenal are not careful, like Man City can catch up, because it looks like Pep Guardiola is starting to come into that form and starting to find a favourite. And it's very scary when he finds a favourite. I'm not going to lie to you, because it feels like he's found a key to every single lock that the PL team has. But that's besides the point. I think if Arsenal are not careful, Man City can catch up. But I highly doubt it. Like, you see Arsenal's depth. They have two players and two quality players in every position. And it is by far the most balanced team in the PL at the moment.
Yep, I agree. I don't really disagree. I just more towards like it's Arsenal in a sense where they've always struggled with consistency over a long period of time, or when it matters most. So it's like sometimes they just drop the ball accordingly, right? But maybe this could be the time that they finally get over the hump. But we shall see that, because suddenly out of nowhere, right? You really think about it. Like, Chelsea was close. Had Chelsea won, right? It would have been a 3 point. It would have been a 3 point gap close already. Close between them already. It would have been a far better group, far better gap. But now it's changed altogether because of a draw, and Chelsea could have won. Yeah. So I think that's what I look at it, right? Moving on. Unless Ned, you got anything else to add before we move on?
I don't think Arsenal really care if they lose like one or two big games. Like, Arsenal always boast about the fact that they don't really lose to big six teams. I think like if you can beat every other team in the league, what's a few like big six losses? It's pride and whatnot, but I think real league winning form is like winning those games that are supposed to be winnable.
Yep. Understand. Fair point. Okay. Let's move on to the next part, right? Because I think this one is also kind of a big headline, right? Because Liverpool finally won. Liverpool finally won after 3 games, right? Where you guys conceded 10 goals and scored 1, including the Champions League, where you all lost 4-1 to PSV, right? You all beat West Ham 2-0 away from home, lah. Issa finally gets his first goal. Gakpo seals it at the end, right? But I think the big thing here, right, is that
let me
Salah didn't start this game. That's the one thing that I want to ask.
Look, okay, I think no one stays untouchable forever, and I think it's really Salah's time.
Yeah,
he was playing for that contract because I genuinely did think he played it out of like love for the city, and he wanted to stay here, wanted to finish his career here. I mean, that's like besides the point, you know. There's always that chance he goes to Saudi because he will earn like, he'll be the biggest earner there probably, like maybe par like Cristiano Ronaldo, because Salah is probably like the biggest like Arabian like star.
Yeah.
But I think his time has come. Unfortunately, it can be down to number one, age, of course. Number two, I think he is one of, if not the most affected by the passing of our number 20. And you can still sort of see in his eyes, like, he's just not there 100%. Like, he tries, like, I'll give him that he tries sometimes, but, like, his head's not in it, lah. And it's very unfortunate to see someone so affected by, you know, external factors around him that he has no control. It feels like he's losing his grip, and you can see it in every time he plays. It's really, really sad to like see a legend go out like this, but you know, everyone's time has to come. You know, you can only do it for like so long, unless you're like Cristiano Ronaldo or like Messi, you know. But yeah, I'm happy for the 8 or 9 years
Yep.
he's given us for this. He's given to this club. I couldn't ask for more. If this is the season he leaves, then so be it.
Yep. Paul, any thoughts?
Can I just say, right? This West Ham game, right? This Lucas Paqueta is not beating any of the allegations.
This guy is 100% match fixing.
he
You
match
cannot
fixed
tell me
himself.
otherwise, bro. Oh my goodness.
I
Bro,
don't
they
disagree.
were so much in the game, right? Until that stupid sending off, honestly, they could have taken the lead a few times.
Yep. No, I agree.
And like, this player has a record of getting unnecessary yellow card. Like, I think there was like even a proper investigation of how and when he got yellow cards.
Yep.
And you don't come and tell me, you already got a yellow card for arguing with the referee, right? Furthermore, you go and add like fuel to the fire in front of the referee. So, and the
go
referee
and
did
argue
this, you know? The referee did this one. That means last warning, you walk away
Yeah.
now or you get the red card. And he just continued. So, bro, you cannot tell me you are a professional and then you still go and do this.
Actually,
I
honestly,
think that's less on Paqueta. That's more on Bowen, who's standing there the whole time and just not stopping him. Because you see, he's literally standing. I don't know if you remember. He's standing next to Paqueta. If not, he's standing like one man away from
it's
Paqueta
like,
at the
it's
time.
like literally, it's like basically his back's to the referee.
He's right there. He's right
right next to the
there. He
He's right
sees
next to
the
the
referee do this. He's like, oh, I'll say nothing. Let's be real. These players are not stupid, lah. They 100% know this man has like allegations against him. Just pull your man aside. Like, what's the worst that can happen? He like fights back. Oh, no, I'm not doing this shit. Oh, this guy, I'm gonna give him a piece of my butt. You get what I'm saying? And then he gets a red card. It's so stupid.
But I got a question, right? Isn't only the captain supposed to talk to the referee?
Yeah, but let's be real. Like, you're
in
not
some
going
sports, yes,
in the
but not-
heat of the moment, right? You're not going to be remembering these rules. Like, let's be very, very real about that. The captain only supposed to be talking to the referee rule, right? It's quite nonsense, honestly. Because heat of the moment, you're going to the referee first. What you're not? Oh, I'm just gonna like practice self-restraint. I'm just gonna stand here and like bolt to the ground. I'm gonna spit on the floor. I'm not gonna. No, if a referee makes a shit call, you're going to the referee to complain about the shit call that you just made.
Yep.
It's not going to be only the captain. That's why I don't think it's enforced in the way that the PL, whoever makes the rules on the PL or like the FA, they're not going to like actively enforce it. I feel like it's a rule of convenience, and it's a really, really stupid rule of convenience. Yeah, besides the point, dude, like Bowen, I'm so disappointed. I really besides the point, I really, really like Jared Bowen as a player. Like, it's very, I don't know, just irrational, like irrational affection towards him as a player. I really do respect him as a player and a club captain for West Ham. The fact that he could have gone to like really any other club, because I do feel he is a top player. Maybe he's a bit old at this point. He's a bit of a, I would say, like a Mitoma kind of case where he has quality. Maybe he's just a bit too old for any of the bigger teams to like invest in him. But yeah, besides the point, I'm really disappointed in that showing. That he really could have just put Paqueta aside, and just called it a day. He could have still been 11 men up, but I don't know. He let it slide. He just let the allegations get worse, I guess.
Yep. I agree, because to be honest, right, when I looked at it, I was like, you're really gonna get a second yellow card for dissent?
Yep.
Just stop talking. Like, if the referee already gives you a warning, just keep quiet. I think, like, if let's say anybody can pinpoint West Ham losing that game, right, it's probably that due to that incident. Because
that moment, yeah.
if you were to compare it to, let's say, for example, the Caicedo one, Caicedo was clear cut, is foot to foot, his boot, his studs are on the player's ankle. Okay, you want a red card, fair. But you're talking about a red card where it's just him talking. It's not even like a physical contact with another player.
Yep.
It's just his mouth got him into trouble. So, like what Paul said, he's not beating the allegations anytime soon. But it also doesn't do any good for the team that is trying to beat Liverpool and could have beaten Liverpool in a situation whereby the team that you're playing against, right, is not in the top form.
Like, you have all the chances to get something out of this game, and then you lose it in this manner. I think it's just ridiculous, lah. And they deserve to be in the position that they are, bro.
Correct. And it's not like it's not like, how to say, like, it was totally Liverpool dominated.
Yeah, no.
I won't say it was totally that, Liverpool dominated this game, could have won by 4-5 goals. It wasn't it. It was like a recent memory of a Liverpool performances where, like, there were glimpses, But then it wasn't like they were going to run away with this entire game. Like, don't be, no offense to Ned, but I think, Ned, you will probably agree in that situation, right?
Honestly, like this is one of the funniest like Liverpool games I've seen in recent times. Like, I'm not saying like it's funny, like bad. It's just like funny to watch. Like, what the hell are we doing? Like, yeah, we won the game, but like this is a bit. I don't know. The performance was a bit embarrassing. Like, okay, give props to the two big spendings up front in Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak. Isak is not to the level that we saw last season, but you can feel that he's getting there. Like, this is a 6, 7 out of 10 performance for him. Like, we do demand more out of him. The goal is good. I think it's really good for his confidence. But this is not what we paid like 125 million for. But Florian Wirtz, that one I can say like, okay, pretty good performance. Unlucky that he didn't get a goal or assist. But you could tell like he just had a really, really good game. Like, he influenced the game. His pass was so crisp. It's like you can tell this guy is like probably one of the most, if not the most intelligent starter on the squad. I don't know, a really, really big props to Florian Wirtz for that. But you can tell there's still some cracks in there. He's Dutch and his name starts with a G, but I don't know lah. I'm not the biggest Cody Gakpo fan.
Nah.
It's so predictable. He goes, he beats his man with his long stride. He cuts in and he shoots.
And he shoots, yes.
He misses.
AKA Marcus Rashford. But this at least got
Marcus Rashford, yeah.
But okay, honestly, like I think before we move on to just a summary of the two Manchester clubs, right? Like, Ned, I asked this question, right? Did not having Salah on the pitch really have that huge impact, or was it just more like, or it's just normal?
I think it's the minor tweaks that Slot has also made. Like, finally, okay, he's not a natural right back, but finally putting Joe Gomez on the team sheet. Like not even on right back. Like, we always knew Joe Gomez could play right back. And in Klopp's final season, like, he put in quite a few shifts at left back, which led him to get the England call-up for Euros that season, even though he didn't play a single game for England. It was his versatility in the defense that got him that call-up. And it was very well-deserved call-up. I really do think they should have at least played him, or at least closed out the game with him. But look, with Joe Gomez, right, when he's on it, right, he's always going to give you like a 7 out of 10 performance from him.
Yeah.
Always. Like, yes, he can have his shit games. Like, definitely. The last season that we were in our banter era of I think it was 22-23. Like, he was dog shit that season. But he redeemed himself next season, which I'm very happy that he did. I don't know. I'm just happy to see our longest servant at the club, still like willing to put in the fight, even in an unnatural position or a coach that doesn't rate him.
Yep.
So I think it was that. I think man, this hurts to say. Yeah, I think Salah has to right bench, honestly. But then again, I want to say you have no natural right wingers, but then I remember Chiesa can play on the right. But it's very obvious, like, Slot doesn't rate Chiesa, let's be real. Slot doesn't rate a lot of people in the squad. Even if he did, right, they have to do like everything in their power just to like even get a sniff of like the starting 11. Like, see Chiesa has been our best attacker this season. Every time he was on the pitch, he would have either score a goal or goal contribution every like 60 minutes, which is quite insane for the numbers and for the amount of minutes he plays and what he actually contributes. Yeah, but you can tell Slot has his favorites. It's why he doesn't play Gomez. It's why he doesn't play Endo. It's why he doesn't play Chiesa, unfortunately.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully, I hope that he can at least learn to give these three players a chance. Especially my current favorite, even though I don't think he's played a single minute this season. I'm not going to lie to you, which is very upsetting to me. But, oh well, what can you do?
Okay, I think we just look at it like, let's just monitor the situation, right? Because the thing is that now the fact that they won without Salah on the field starting, right? Would it be a beneficial thing? Because maybe Salah could do without having to play the full 90. Maybe he could just come in as an impact, like maybe about 30 minutes, 35 minutes at least.
That seems to be the plan, at least. Going forward in Slot's head. You can tell he really doesn't have the legs anymore, man, which is quite upsetting, but Sign of the times.
It was going to come sooner or later, lah. But I think let's just monitor the situation. Right, Liverpool finally win and they are propped up to 8, same points as Man United. Man United, right? And a point behind Sunderland and Brighton. So, which they are going to play next, right? So it means that if let's say they do beat Sunderland, right, they could jump up the table quite quickly, lah. Provided Manchester United don't screw up.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared for this Sunderland game, man.
Yeah,
I'm really scared for this Sunderland game.
That's why we're going to talk about it, right? But I think we're just going to go do a quick summary. Over at Selhurst Park, United beats Crystal Palace 2-1. Wow. No comments, no words.
This game was squeaky bum time for all 90 minutes for all United fans, man.
No,
it really was.
No words, bro. No words. That's why I can see Paul is just silent, right? Because both of us just like can I be frank, right? Honestly, right, most of this match, right, I wasn't really paying attention because I was like waiting for something to just happen and just screw up. But I'll say this, Luke Shaw was the best player yesterday.
Yes, he saved your ass a lot of times.
He saved us a lot.
But it felt like every time he saved your ass was like another month to like the next injury. Every time he went down the ground,
don't worry.
I'm like, is it happening? Is it happening? Yeah. Is this another 6 months out?
It's a World Cup year. He will play like Roberto Carlos. Yeah.
It's the international tournament year. Right? He's gonna do fine.
It's not even international tournament. It's a World Cup year, bro.
Okay.
He will play like Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, but I won't say much, right? Like Mason, the two rejects, right, are the ones that scored, which is kind of funny. Xerxes and Mount scored.
Crazy, words. Right? Crazy how that works out.
No words, right? This game, as a Man United fan, right, just left me perplexed most of it, right? I don't know how the heck we won, but we won anyway.
MM7, bro. MM7.
Even after being unable to just even beat Everton. Next up, right, I think the next one is City beat Leeds 3-2. Boy, they nearly bottled it.
This just now, I think. Yeah.
No. I mentioned it a bit, but they nearly bottled it, right? They were leading 2-0. Then they
were
dropped
actually.
Back 2-2. And then Foden scored to get the winner. Probably need to go and see what's going to happen, but we shall. But
let's be real, Leeds are getting relegated.
Freaking Erling Haaland, I used my triple captain chip on him, Freaking ridiculous. Bro,
Leeds are getting relegated this season. Let's not kid ourselves. They did well. They did well at the start.
Yeah, they did well. Okay.
Wolves.
Yeah, but to the team that me and Paul predicted was going to get relegated, but it looks like it's unlikely going to happen. Sunderland is going to play Liverpool. It is Liverpool at home, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct?
Yep. Yes, I think it's the first game back in Anfield in quite a while because we had quite a few run of games away. So I think this is like the return.
Ned, your thoughts? Because I think you said that you're a bit scared. So and the fact that Sunderland did like get something off of Arsenal.
I mean, this is coming back to bite me in the ass right now because I did say Sunderland was going to do really well this season, like 12th place, and right now they're fighting for Europe. Not just Europe, they're fighting for Champions League football. Crazy, what the hell? I'm actually really, really scared for this game. I'm not going to lie. Oh my goodness, this Sunderland team has been on crack recently, man. Getting results here and there in games they have no business getting results in, especially versus Arsenal. Oh my goodness. Oh, imagine like I'm scared of them coming to Anfield already. I cannot imagine the return fixture at the Stadium of Light, man. Like, can you imagine like the fans just like going crazy like on a European push? I don't even want to imagine it. Look, I'll be very happy with a draw against Sunderland. I'm going to be extremely real with you. I think at this point, right, any team will be happy with a draw against Sunderland.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I don't see that happening.
Yep. And considering the fact that Sunderland are playing Liverpool and City, so they're playing like this on Thursday morning in Singapore, right? Then on the 6th of December, they're playing City. With that, right, boys, predictions
for Liverpool Sunderland.
Oh, Paul, you got anything to say about Sunderland and Liverpool?
Nope. I think both. One is in good form. One is in starting to find their feet again. So,
but he could go backwards,
Yeah, it could definitely.
You can sort of see like the eagle still circling around Paul's head.
The eagle. Yeah, I think. Yeah, let's see. I think draw will be a good result.
2-1 Sunderland.
2-1 Sunderland.
Even that.
2-1 Sunderland. Okay, I'm going with 1-1.
Yeah.
1-1. Okay, for me, I think it's pretty straightforward. Right? So, with that, boys, you got anything else to add before we close out the episode?
Yeah, Max Verstappen, come, let's do it, man.
I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to go back to losing again. I'm ready to buy that Richarlison Spurs shirt.
Hey, wait. Spurs is 12, huh?
Yeah, exactly. No, Spurs haven't been in a very good run of form recently.
No, they haven't.
Yeah. So maybe not. We'll see. Liverpool are shit, but Spurs has been even more shit. So maybe that shit won't be coming.
Yep, agreed. So, with that is it for this week's episode of the Football Kaki. Alright, so that is it for this week's episode of the Football Kaki, brought to you by the Chit Podcast Network. Now, for those of you who are tuning in, we just want to say thank you, and we hope that you continue to watch our other shows, which are the Copy Bros every Monday, where we have some fun interviews lined up for you. And if you do like the news in a different light, we do have the Loud Tales podcast every Friday, where we come together and talk about news in a fun and unique way. So, with that, boys, you got anything else to add before we move on for this week's episode?
I'm ready to lose again and feel
the sound of an exasperated Liverpool fan. Whereas like me and Paul are at the point where like,
if it brings me any solace, right, Liverpool's worst season, right, has been Manchester United's best season so far, which is quite crazy to think about.
It is quite true, but we shall see.
We've lost 6 games. We've lost 6 games and we're still level on points with you.
Yeah, and the funniest part is we have scored only 1 more goal than you, and we've conceded the same amount.
When the United strength cuts his hair, Ruben Amorim personally needs to cut his hair at Old Trafford on the pitch itself. And the club the club has to film the video and post it onto the official account.
Yes.
It will feed generations.
So, with that, United strength, we hope you get a haircut soon. And for everybody here watching football, have a great week ahead. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.